What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. You know, every now and then I'll kind of keep tabs and lock in on what's going on in the AI world. And while I'm nowhere close to an expert on the inner workings of AI, I have had my little premonitions about it, and I think I'm pretty spot on. Um, I said a long time ago that I believe that eventually they're going to start using AI to set people up, to start, really just framing people and making it appear that people have said and done things that they didn't say and do. And now in this kind of early stage of AI, you start to see on social media a bunch of videos where you can clearly know if you got a half a brain. No, you know what? I'm not going to say you can clearly know. Well, those who got a half a brain can clearly know. Let me say it in the reverse order. That you can look at it and say, nah, that's not real. That's AI because he or she would never say that about the person that's saying about publicly. They would never say that because it's so much disrespectful things in the video. It's like, nah, um, it just wouldn't happen. So that's a clear giveaway. But now you're starting to see more videos that are closing the gap between uh, real and AI. The gap is closing to where you're really starting to look like, man, is that real? Because what they're doing is they're making the content more realistic. The concept of the particular video is being made to look more realistic. So it may be something simple. It may be something that's not so extreme the way you would automatically know. Like when the fat dude was leaning on the rail and he fell all the way off the rail and just wow, he fell through the porch. Okay, that's AI. We those who don't know. But like I said, now they're making videos that are more closer to reality. And if you don't have the eye that's keen enough to kind of recognize, you know, what it looks like, because in some cases, some pictures and some videos, the um, the visual is a little too sharp to be real, and it kind of gives it away. But they are closing that gap to where you don't know. And how do I know that the gap is closing? Because I read comment sections. And if there's a particular video that has 200 comments, if 150 of them are elaborating on the video from the standpoint of them believing that it's real, then that means that the needle is moving, it's swaying over to where they're setting this thing up to where the majority of the people are starting to be deceived by it and thinking that it's real, getting it to where the average person is not able to know the difference. Many still do. Many still do. And but there are a lot who you read the comments who like, how do you not know? How do you not know? And I think this is like trial. They're putting it out in the form of little fun, little social media, cool little humorous social media things. And but to me, I don't put nothing past these folks. It's a trial to me, in my mind. And I'm thinking that eventually, they're going to perfect this thing or get it to as close as perfection as they can get it to where it's probably going to be virtually impossible to know what's real and what's not. And when they get it to that point, where the people are really scratching their head, and I know some of y'all think, well, no, man, real people who deal, we have regular people who work in those fields and they understand the intricacies of AI. They know, yeah, you might, but Joe Blow and Jenny from around the way, they don't know. They don't know. And public opinion can be swayed by that. And I just really believe, see, they don't do anything just to be doing it. Everything that is done has an intent and a purpose, even if it's presented in the form of something that's just innocent. Even if it's presented in the form of something that's harmless and just a new tool to play with, a technology that you can play with and do things with, which you can. You know, there are benefits to using it and using it certain ways, but I just don't believe that that's their uh, motive. I think there's an ulterior motive and reasons behind it, and I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it. So y'all stay tuned and keep your eyes open and keep your eyes open for real, because I think this is just training camp. This is preseason for this AI thing. All right, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment on this post, and go check out the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast right here on YouTube. And y'all subscribe to that channel as well. All right, peace.